Here's a quick tutorial on how to build a dynamically exploding pie chart using Active Report in Report Studio. Before we go through the tutorial, let's quickly run this report and see what the expected behavior is. When the report is initially launched, an initial slice is exploded, in this case Northern Europe, and if we click on another slice such as Central Europe, that piece of the pie explodes on all 4 years. If we click on Asia Pacific, that piece of the pie explodes. So let's close this final version of the report and build a new one from scratch. To do so, we'll select New Report from the toolbar and we'll select Active Report. We'll select Toolbox and then scroll down towards the bottom. In this area, you'll see various controls for an active report. In this case, we're going to want to use a data deck. So we'll drag the data deck onto the report. And then we're going to want to add a chart into that data deck. But because we want the chart to be centered, we're going to select and add a table object into the data deck. We'll specify 1 column and 1 row. Then we'll add the chart into the table cell. We'll select a pie and donut chart. In this case, exploded pie with 3D effects and rounded bevel. Then we'll select inside the table cell, and from the toolbar, we'll select Center. For this particular report, we're going to want to create an interaction between our pie chart and the data deck. And to do so, we're going to want to make it clear which queries we're working with. As you can see, the queries are given default names, Query 1 and Query 2. So we'll want to rename Query 1, which belongs to the data deck. We'll prefix it with QRY for query, and then data deck. And Query 2 we'll rename as well, with the same prefix, and we'll call it pie chart. So let's go back to our page layout. We'll go to page 1. And it's also another good practice to give appropriate names to each of your objects. In this case, we have a pie chart. If you scroll down to the properties of that pie chart, you can see that you can rename the object. And this is important when you have several types of objects in your report to distinguish one from the other. In this case, pie chart suits our needs fine, so we'll leave it as is. So let's add some data to the report. We'll click the Source tab, and we'll drag region onto the pie chart. We'll drop it into the Series drop zone. And because we want the interaction between the pie chart and the data deck to be on region, we'll also drag region to the data deck query in the Values drop zone. Next, we'll add year to the categories of the pie chart. And then we'll scroll up to Sales Fact and drag revenue to the Default Measures drop zone. The next thing we want to do is define which piece of the pie is exploded when you click on the pie chart itself. To do that, you're going to want to edit the Exploded Slices property located in the Properties pane. Click on the property and then click the ellipsis. And you will see there's already a default definition for the exploded slice. In this case, it is set to explode slice number 1. But we're going to want to choose expression. So we'll click on the ellipsis beside the expression text box. And what we're going to want to do is equate the region from the pie chart query to the region in the query data deck. And the reason for doing so is that the data deck has cards for each of the regions in the data. And when we click on a region in the pie chart, we'll want to navigate to that specific card in the deck to show the exploded pie slice for that particular region. And to create that connection between the pie chart and the data deck, we'll click on Create a New Connection on the pie chart. The pie chart will be the source control, and when clicking on the pie chart, it will pass a data item, in this case region. Its behavior will be to select the appropriate card within the data deck. And the mechanism to pass this value is to use a variable. In this case, the default name is region, but we want to give it a more appropriate name, so we'll prefix it with var for variable. We can also select a default value. In this case, we'll choose Northern Europe. So to quickly recap, when we select a pie slice, it will select the appropriate card within the data deck. So we've completed all the steps to create this dynamically exploding pie chart. So let's run the report and see our results. As you can see, Northern Europe is the default selection. And if we click on Americas, for instance, we navigate to the appropriate card in the data deck with that exploded piece. And the same applies for Asia Pacific, and so on. Now the one thing you'll notice is that the dates are out of order, 2005, 2006, 2004, and so on. We want to sort our data appropriately, so simply select the year, and from the toolbar select Ascending. Now when we run the report, the pies appear in the correct order. We hope you found this tutorial useful in how to create a dynamically exploding pie chart using an active report in Report Studio.